It's a full hour of movie reviews for you right here on KWOC. We are the Screen Team. Thanks for listening to us. You can check the Screen Team out. We're all over social media. We love social media, and we want you to come join us on Facebook, on Twitter. Also subscribe to us on YouTube, and check us out on ScreenTeamPB.com. All right, our next film is a biographical film called I Saw the Light. It's a movie about Hank Williams, the country music legend, and I was like, all right, I'm not the country guy, I'm the rock and roll guy. I need someone to come review this film with me, shed some light, if you will, on the country scene. You like that? So I got Toby with us. Toby, thanks for being on with this review. Appreciate you.
I'm glad to be here.
I know very, very little about Hank Williams. But I was interested in this film. I was like, okay, cool. I want to get to know him more. And I thought, I'm a fan of Tom Hiddleston. He plays Loki in all the Avenger movies.
That's who immediately I was thinking of.
So I was into it. I was like, okay, let's watch it. And I did. I thought it was good. I thought it could have been a lot better.
Much better. To be honest, there was no new information. I can't say I'm a Hank Williams fan. I appreciate and can appreciate the impact he had on country music.
Yeah.
His music personally, I love his songs. I didn't like to hear him sing, but there was no new information in this movie that isn't available on Wikipedia or anywhere else if you wanted to do that hasn't already been told before. What impressed me about the movie was Tom Hiddleston. I had to Google while I was watching. He did all the singing.
Yeah, that
was him. Elizabeth Olsen, and granted, Audrey could not sing herself, but she did the voices for that also. So I was impressed with that. I think the movie went on about 45 minutes too long.
Yeah. It was a long movie. I think it was like
2 hours and 20 minutes,
something like that. Yeah,
it could have been a lot shorter and condensed because what they covered was it wasn't anything new that any Hank Williams fan wasn't already aware of.
I'm just kind of curious because, did you see the movie? I can't even think of it now. The Johnny Cash one.
Yeah, Walk the Line.
Walk the Line. That was a great movie.
It was fantastic. That should have set the precedence on biographical movies of country music stars.
I'm like, this film is trying to be that, and I think it just didn't. It came up way short.
It very much did. It didn't cover where Walk the Line. We had a lot of background in the songs, why he wrote them, how he wrote them, and this we didn't see that. We saw him writing a few songs here and there, but there wasn't really anything but scratching the surface on it.
Yeah.
I personally wanted to explore more, maybe because I wasn't as familiar with, was the Fred Rose background. That Fred Rose was such he and Roy Acuff basically built Nashville from nothing. That's what Nashville became in the 40s and 50s, and I would like to see more of that relationship. And the thing with he and Audrey, I'm sorry, they fought a lot. He cheated, she cheated. I wanted to see more interaction, maybe more turmoil, and see why.
Yeah.
I just didn't see the chemistry between those two that you saw between Reese Witherspoon and Joaquin Phoenix playing Johnny Cash and June Carter. I didn't see that kind of love that you saw, the chemistry between those two actors as we did between Reese and Joaquin.
I know these characters have their flaws, but you're supposed to. Johnny Cash and June Carter, they had their flaws too. But you at the end you came up and you're like, okay, we like these guys again. Hank Williams and what's his wife's name?
Audrey.
Like Audrey, I just couldn't stand. I was like,
no,
oh my.
she was a witch in that, and I just say witch.
Yeah.
She was that from day one, where you were rooting for June and Johnny. And honestly, when the movie ended, when Hank died, I'm like, finally. And they didn't play that up. That could have been a really poignant scene.
Yeah.
That what he was dealing with, of course, we don't know. But you could take poetic licenses and what he was imagining and because he was kind of a lost soul at that point. And so many directions could have been taken with that particular scene, and they just kind of blew it off. It just kind of faded off into the background. And I just think that was a lost opportunity.
Yeah. Hank Williams had a lot of issues with women.
Oh, and, I'm not saying, and I like that they brought up that he was a roommate with Ray Price. I would have liked to have seen, he had the little come-to with Ferlin Husky and stole his girlfriend. Were the women? I think there was probably a whole lot more of that went on, and maybe I was looking for a little more name dropping than what was in there. I would like to have seen there was more. I mean, he fought to get on the Grand Ole Opry, and you saw a little bit of that, but not. I don't know. There just wasn't any passion in this movie. And if somebody that writes the songs that Hank Williams wrote, there were more passion in that man's soul than what I saw.
He had problems with his wives and his girlfriends, but also his mother too.
Oh, she was a piece of work, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was your typical stage mother.
Yeah, and he had trouble. His ex-wife and his mother were at each other's throats
all the time. Both wanted him to be the leader.
Yeah, and Hank was just kind of like, whatever, just leave me out of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of Hank Jr. in it, and basically the only thing that you see is that Hank Sr. was never.
He was not the father that he kept saying when the baby was born, I will be the father I didn't have, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
And what really struck me, though, and I knew this, but it kind of hit me at the end, though, he was only 29 years old when he died.
I know, that's crazy,
all this movie hit in a span of 23 to 29.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston may have been a little long in the tooth to play this part, come to think of it, because he looked a lot older.
Right.
But then so did Hank when he passed away, too. He lived a hard life in those 6 years. But I saw a lot of missed opportunities with this movie.
Do you think that country music fans will enjoy this movie?
Yes. Just because you see, the Grand Ole Opry, and you see like the Ray Price and the Furlan Husky, and the names dropped. But it's nothing new. There's nothing new that we weren't even mildly interested in country music that you didn't already know.
Yeah. Well, I knew very, very little about him. I didn't, they in the middle of the movie they're playing the song "Moving On Over." And I'm like, that's a George Thorogood song.
Oh no, you're kidding me!
I know
you did not know that was a Hank Jr. song.
I did not know.
Oh honey,
I did not know.
Hank Jr. Hank Sr.
You can yell at me all you want.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
I will nail you on that one. No. And he was such an influence on so many artists today, even though country isn't what the country is then. Right. He was such. He even influenced George Jones, and Merle Haggard even was influenced. He was the godfather of country music. He's what set the precedence on superstars now, and his music even hangs tight today. We could play it on any country station, and people are going to appreciate the music. That's what I'm saying. I can't say I'm not a huge fan of his voice. I appreciate the songs because people like George Thorogood, the Beatles, I know were huge Hank Sr. fans.
It's amazing.
The Rolling Stones. Because good music is good music, regardless of the genre.
Right. Amen. Amen, Toby. Movie is called I Saw the Light, and you can find it on DVD. Coming up next, I'm excited. We're going to review the new Harry Potter spinoff. It's called Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Him. We'll let you know if it's good or not. It's coming up next on KWOC.